This video is a lesson overview for lesson 4.2, which is all about the addition rule and the multiplication rule. The slides for this lesson are based on the slides provided by Pearson to accompany our text, but they're also based on slides provided by one of my colleagues, James Lively at Tulsa Community College. The first time I taught statistics, James gave me all of his resources. So he gave me every slide that he uses in his class, he gave me every test, and he enabled me to focus entirely on teaching as opposed to focusing on developing all of the slides. He had some great images and some great examples, so I've included those in my slides. So thank you, James, for all of the images and examples you included in your slides that I have chosen to include in mine. And thank you, of course, James, for offering me all of those resources, which made it so much easier for me to do my job that first semester I was teaching statistics. So I've taken the slides provided by Pearson, and I've taken the slides provided by my friend and colleague, James Lively at Tulsa Community College, and then I modified them for our course in the slides that you'll see here. Okay, so this lesson is about section 4.2, which is about the addition rule and multiplication rule. That's the second section in chapter 4 that we are covering in our class. We're just covering these 3 sections. There are a number of other sections in chapter 4 as well, but due to time constraints, we're just covering 4.1, 4.2, and 4.4. This is from chapter 4 of Essentials of Statistics, 6th edition by Mario Triola. So here are our learning outcomes. We've got a lot of them for section 4.2. First, we want to distinguish between simple and compound events, and then describe how those concepts are related to the addition and multiplication rules that we're going to learn in this lesson. Then we'll want to understand and apply the addition rule. And then we'll want to determine whether 2 events are disjoint, or otherwise we call that mutually exclusive. We'll want to describe the consequences for the addition rule when events are disjoint as well. Got 3 more learning outcomes. Then we also want to understand and apply the rule of complementary events. We alluded to this in lesson 4.1, but we're going to get back to it again in this lesson. And then our 5th learning outcome is related to the multiplication rule. So we're going to want to understand what it means for 2 events to be independent from each other. And we're going to describe, or our goal is for you to be able to describe, how the sampling method affects whether those events are independent from each other or not. And then we will want to understand and apply the multiplication rule when appropriate. And then lastly, we want to understand that principle of redundancy and its relationship to reliability. And then we're going to use the multiplication rule in problems that are related to redundancy and reliability. This is just a specific application that is very important and closely related to the multiplication rule. So here are the key concepts of lesson 4.2. Basically, we just want to understand the addition rule and the multiplication rule, and we want to be able to apply them. So the addition rule is a tool for finding the probability of event A happening or event B happening or both happening. Whenever you see the word or, I want you to think addition rule. And then we also are going to learn about the multiplication rule. This allows us to find the probability that A happens and B happens at the same time in the same trial. If you see the word and, I want you to think of the multiplication rule. That's it for the overview of lesson 4.2. I'll see you in the next video.